Welcome to the pod where we're going to talk about
our thoughts, stories, and hot takes, but do it all
respectfully, of course. So how did we get here? Why did we start a podcast? Where did the idea even come from?
I was trying to think back, and I literally remember our first time talking about, like, what if we just started a podcast was when we were paddleboarding out on our janky little...
They're not janky. They're blow up paddleboards.
No, not the paddleboards. I was talking about the body of water that we go in. It's not exactly high class, you know?
I thought you were dissing the paddleboards.
I'm not. That's a ridiculous paddleboard thing.
I was like, they're cute. I mean, they're work.
No,
yeah, I will
love
say
paddleboards.
McDowell Dam is janky.
We live in North Dakota. We don't have a lot to work with.
We have two janky little smelly lakes, and you just kind of gotta pick one or the other. So
anyway, so we were out, paddling, and we were cracking ourselves up, honestly. And we were just kind of like, we should just start a podcast. Like, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, like as a joke. First of all, I'm so impressed she remembers this because one thing about me is I have the worst memory. So like I don't remember.
Respectfully, of course.
Respectfully, I remember nothing. And so that was so shocking to me that she's like, I remember the first time we ever talked about starting a podcast, even if it was like kind of as a joke. But it was like 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Like ish. Give or take.
Which I feel like it's been longer, but it really hasn't. Like,
yeah, but I feel like that's just, we have that dynamic, but it was just the first time that we like put it into that perspective, I guess. And ever since then, it's just been like a running joke in our friendship about like, oh my gosh, we need to start that podcast. But we like never like seriously meant it. And then we like kind of jokingly like would tell other people, and a lot of people were on board with it. So
yeah,
that
like, just go for it.
That just signifies that we're not the only people who find us funny. And that's really a really
and now we'll have our 12 listeners who also think we're funny.
I just love.
So what really like sparked us to be like, all right, this week we're just gonna sit down and we're just gonna record it. Like we have, let's be completely honest, these mics aren't real.
They're not real.
They're just for show.
Like, it's just so fun.
The camera is currently propped up on a stack of books. We had a mic attached to the camera. The mic was not. It's not working. So we're just we're rolling bare minimum right now. But
we really are. We completely reorganized the apartment and spent like an hour just trying to figure out the setup, just to be like.
We came up with literally this.
Literally, just to be like, be so for real. Like nobody's watching this, and even if they are, like it's our first episode, so it's a little thrown together. But that's the fun of it, and I feel like that really captures us so well.
And on Sunday, we were sitting outside of somebody's house. We had gotten done with an event, and we're just sitting outside, like, let's just have a little catch up on the 3 days since we haven't seen each other.
We literally haven't seen each other for 3 days, but we're like, there's a couple things we needed to tell each other, so let's just go sit in my car really quick.
And 2.5 hours later, we could have had 3 episodes by that point.
It was the most out-of-pocket conversation we've had, and I couldn't even tell you how long. No. That was crazy. So that just got us to realize, like, you know what, maybe we need to start this thing. You know, who cares how many people listen to start, and like, maybe this is just our thing, maybe it becomes a huge thing, but like, I just think it's funny, and I think that we need to remember these conversations. We could talk for ages. We have so much to talk about.
We never run out of something to speak
Literally
about.
Never. So I just think it's fun. It's a fun little thing that we decided to do.
So who are we?
Yeah. Let's really briefly touch who we are as individuals before we go into who we are together, which is what really matters.
Because we are basically the same. We share a brain almost at this point.
At this point, we like share a single brain cell.
Yeah.
And that's cute. That's okay. I love that for us. So my name is Kayla. For those of you who don't know, most of you probably do, but for our audience that's going to come back and look at all the throwback videos, this is for you. I'm 22. I am a college dropout. I started going to college at University of Mary thinking, let me just figure out as I go what I want to do.
I almost just spilled this, not gonna lie.
It has a lid.
I know, but I grabbed it more on the lid.
Oh my
anyway, back to you.
Back to me. So I started going to school thinking this is the right way, this is just the next step, and then literally my mental health plummeted as if it wasn't bad enough already, and then I just hit my breaking point and was like, you know, what if I just dropped out of college for real this time, and stopped just joking about it? So I did. A lot of people told me I was throwing my life away. I still stand by my decision years later. No regrets. However, I still have no direction in life, but at least I'm not totally miserable like I was then. So I'm currently working full-time at Shields while I just figure out what the heck is next. In the meantime, I did move out of my parents' house. It's exciting, into this lovely apartment here that's like 3 minutes away from their house. It's charming. It's definitely got its flaws, but we love it. I live with my sister and practically Lauren because at this point it's half
I am
hers.
the honorary roommate, and I once found myself referring to this as our apartment, and then I was like, wait a second, hold up, I don't pay rent here. It's not mine.
No,
it's
she's
not.
just here for the vibes.
Yes, just here for the vibes.
Tell me about you.
Yes, so I just didn't go to college. I graduated high school during COVID, and I couldn't do more. I was like, I need a little break. And during that time, I was trying to figure out what I actually wanted to do with my life, which I found photography, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. And so I did that along with some other jobs, and over the past few years, I've just been trying to figure out like what it is like I'm really aiming for, you know?
Yeah, we're both at a really, really awkward stage in like our young 20s where it's like it's beautiful because we have so much freedom and it's a really cool stage, but at the same time, what on earth do we do with that freedom when we can do anything with our lives, we just don't know what.
Yeah.
So we're currently at that stage, living our lives, trying to figure out what the heck is next, with zero direction in life, but we're also vibing.
Oh, and my name, did I say my name?
No.
I'm Lauren.
This is Lauren. Yeah, so that's a little bit about us.
And now who are we together?
Who are we together?
So we became friends. We don't even know exactly how long we've been friends. The timing's a little hazy.
It is we just kind of like make stuff up, but I feel like it's been about 8 years.
I think
it was
so.
like 7th or 8th grade?
7th or 8th grade.
But basically we were in Sunday school and we were the only 2 girls in Sunday school, just a bunch of guys, and we were basically forced together
You
to
have
be
to
friends.
stick together.
Like
you know?
girls gotta stick together, and like that's kind of how it all started, and then from there, like we just became the known duo. Like
I know, we were inseparable.
Yeah.
We also went through such an unsocial phase in high school where we would literally just like go hide. We would just like wait it out until like our time technically started for like our activities, and then we would like re-emerge.
Literally, we would like
from
go
the
hide in
basement
closet,
stairwell.
just, like yeah, literally the basement stairwell. It was her and I only.
Yes, until randomly we then just like adopted another girl, Taylor, into our group, and we don't really know like when
We don't
exactly.
know when or how that happened, and I would love to rewatch that, just get a little playback.
Yeah.
But like she just like entered into the like I
We
used to
decided
make
to keep her. We decided.
I used to
keep her,
make
you know?
albums for our friendship, and it was literally like every 6 months because we just did so much and had so much like evidence of it. And then literally in one album, she just like emerges, and I'm like, and although I love us two being just us, I guess we'll take Taylor along or something like that. And it's so embarrassing, but we love her. I just feel like our friendship has gone through a lot of phases.
It really
a
has.
lot we're not proud of.
That's so true.
But it's still who we are. So maybe let's dive briefly into those different stages of our friendship.
Yeah. So we always love to think that this was us as 6th graders, and then we come to a shocking reality that we were in like 10th grade, and it really stings.
Yeah.
But we were just like the most embarrassing, like, I don't know, cringe high schoolers who would just do such like.
But like in the moment, we never thought that. Like I really thought, like, aren't we just the funniest and coolest?
I know. I don't even know how to describe us at this age.
Yeah, we just did a lot of embarrassing things. The way we dressed, the pictures we took, the setups we had, the things we did together. When we were like, hey, let's hang out, and then we'd have a lineup of all these like crafts that we do together and like dares and different. Looking back, but here's the worst part about it is like we have evidence of all of
literally
this.
videos.
But I also am like, that's where we started.
And I just think it's kind of cute to see how, like, honestly, we've been doing what we're doing right now for years. Like, we can't deny it.
Just in a different way.
sense. But then
and I just really hope that we don't look back on this and go, the way we do about us in the past.
Yeah. So then a couple years into our friendship, we had a bit of a rough point. Like, we were both, it was our senior year. We went like an entire summer without speaking to each other.
But before this though, we have to talk, we literally went on a senior trip
we did.
together.
We went on a senior
trip. We were tight, and we've been talking about going on a senior trip to Disney World since freshman year in high school. The biggest motivator was that everyone was like, come on, like
you're not
4 years from now you're gonna go on this trip to like it's not gonna happen. And we're like, heck yeah, well, like that was our motivator. So we ended up going on a senior trip to Disney with most of Lauren's family. It was a blast. We had so much fun. It's so cute to look back on, even though
Yeah.
it's a little cringy.
Yeah.
So we were tight by that point of our senior year. That was like February.
And the theme of
Right?
other people telling us like, oh, you're not gonna do it, and we end up doing it, it's just kind of
For sure. 'Cause
throughout our
I feel
entire
like
friendship.
I hate these doubters.
I know.
Not a fan. So then that was like that was February of our senior year. Right after that in March is when COVID hit.
Mhm.
And after that, everything just went into a funk. It was
It really
just
did.
weird.
And we just like that following summer after graduation, like we just like I don't know, we just kind of broke. Like we didn't talk to each other. We were both like going through different things, but didn't
Yes.
really know how
It
to.
was- Yeah, like both of us were just going through our own stuff. Me specifically, I had like best friend of like throughout most of middle and all of high school. Like her and another girl that kind of replaced me just like throughout. Like they're like, we basically hate you, don't want you in our lives, and it broke me. Like I've never been through like a boyfriend breakup, but that to me was like equal or worse. And so it's like I didn't know what to do with myself, so I basically pushed everyone away, and like because of that, I like fully almost like lost Lauren in the process, and would like thought my life was ending. I was like, I'm losing everybody I care about. It was a whole identity crisis that whole summer.
But come the end of summer, we scheduled a meetup, and we were like, we're gonna talk this through. We're gonna figure it out.
I literally don't remember this meetup.
No, we have a picture. Of course, we have a picture of the day that happened. But no, I just remember being like, Mom, Kayla and I are like actually gonna hang out today, and like figure. I was so
remember
nervous.
this.
And I was like, I don't even know. Like, are we gonna still be friends?
Like what's gonna come of it?
But we did, and we figured it out, and here we are today.
Here we are.
Here we are today.
Years later, and it all worked out.
Our no college experience was also really a boy. Oh no, our timer. Okay, we're back. We just needed a moment to recover, to be completely honest. I don't know what just came out of my mouth. What I was trying to say was our no college experience has really been a bonding point of our friendship.
For sure.
Like we have, the early 20s are just such a weird point of life because everybody is just doing something different.
yeah.
But a lot of our friends are in that like school stage and just like,
And I feel like they all like know what they're doing. So college is hard.
Yeah.
But if you know what you're doing, then you have something to work towards. You have like an end goal, and we don't really have that.
So over the past couple years, like that's been something that's been helpful to like have someone else that's kind of going through the same thing that you are. But yeah, what has the past couple years been like for our friendship?
I don't know. I feel like for our friendship, once we like graduated from high school, we like kind of became adults. I feel like we've had a little more freedom on what we do, where we spend our money, like what we so like we can go on little trips together.
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest things was recently this past like a couple of months ago. Like we've been talking about doing a trip together since our senior trip, probably just like wanting to do stuff because that was a blast. But like we still had to go with like someone's family, and like it seems so strange that like we're both fully adults. We have our own money, our own time, and we can just decide to go on trips together. So like we planned this trip to North Carolina, which was so stressful, but so like once we got there, we had the time of our life. And I feel like that literally one of the best couple days of my life. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And that, I feel like one thing that's recently bonded us is almost a year ago to date.
Yeah.
I was like, Lauren, let's just try skiing for the first time. I feel like one thing that's really held me back is like being afraid to try things because I never did them growing up. So it's like just recently, within the past couple of years, I picked up rollerblading, I picked up paddleboarding, and then I was like, let's try skiing, because like just because you haven't done it all your life doesn't mean you can't learn now. And that's a thing. That's a phase I've been going through for a while. Like, why not just try something
And
new?
I'm so glad she convinced me because it took a little work because I do have a past trauma.
She has some trauma. and it's valid.
When I was 11, I went sledding with some of my friends, and one of my friends was like, "Hey, you want to try my brother's snowboard?" And I was like, "Absolutely! Like, why not?" And I ended that little run by breaking both of my arms
on
my 11th birthday. I couldn't even open my own present. My mom had to open them for me and be like, "Oh, look, here's what you got." And this was not even like me going to a mountain and being like, "Oh yeah," it was a sledding hill,
like
a sledding,
can I be honest? Not even a hill. It was like.
And I always like pipe in with my defense, and I'm like, I hit an ice bump. There was nothing I could do. I was almost to the, but it was kind of lame. Anyway, so I was a little terrified to
the
go.
fact that I knew it was gonna be like a little touchy and a little frightening, but I'm like, listen, they have a bunny hill. We'll start on skiing. Like, I'm not asking you to whip out a snowboard. Like, I get that, but I'm like, you have poles. I'm like, I think we'll be okay. Let's just try it. I remember when we got there, actually, the line was through the door. It took us forever to get through. It was freezing cold. I'm like, did we make a mistake in coming here? We literally looked at each other and were like, what are we doing right now? And then it ended up being like the most
we went
fun
to
day.
the Bunny Hill, and Teacher Tom
Taught us
gave
the
some
pizzas,
tips, got
taught us
pizza.
the French fries,
Yeah.
and then Lynn's like, let's go in the lift. And I don't think either of us realized how far the lift
Oh my
went.
gosh.
So we
We
got
got
on
out of the lift and we were questioning everything.
It's a 7-minute long lift. We thought it was just like up a little bit farther up the hill, and it just kept going and going and going. As we're looking down on this steep hill from that perspective, we're like, we're gonna die.
My first time down,
We're
I
gonna
was
die.
so out of control. I have never felt such a speed in my life before, as I am just barely, Kayla was ahead of me, and I just like whipped right by her. She didn't even know it was me, because I think I'm just a blur.
Yeah.
But somehow I made it to the bottom, and I was still on my feet, and from that moment, we just
That's
knew that was
literally
gonna
become
be
like
thing.
our thing. And
Yeah.
Taylor does it with us as well. Like that, for me, like I'll go by myself, I'll go with somebody. But I love going skiing. And then I actually picked up snowboarding a little last year and kind of playing with both. Lauren's gonna stick with skis.
I'm gonna stick with
which is totally fair. But yeah, we're super excited. We were so excited to do that this year. Not an ounce of snow. Like I have been waiting and waiting. I bought a new snowboard this year and haven't yet to go. So we are planning a ski trip. We're super excited. That'll be another bonding point.
Yes.
It is a ski trip on budget, so it's not the ones you see on social media, but it will be fun.
It will be fun. So that's been our past couple years of just trying new things and doing new things together.
Yeah.
And
while also still somewhat living like a low-key life.
Yeah.
All right, so what can you expect to hear from us from this podcast? Like what are we going to be talking about? What the style?
As you can see already, we're just a little bit, we're goofy, we're fun. So what was that? Did you not
I don't know. The word goofy threw me off. Keep it in. We're goofy. We're fun.
We're goofy, we're
That
fun.
just threw me.
You're
for a
not
loop.
going to be hearing life advice and that kind of.
I might throw it in here and there.
But-
Because listen, we've lived and we've learned. We have stuff to share.
But we're not going to be this deep, serious podcast.
Unfortunately not. What our goal is to be comedic relief.
Yes.
And to have fun together. Because
Yeah.
like, mostly this was just something fun for us to do.
We want this to be a
But
light,
also-
fun spot of your week.
We want other people to laugh, you know? And to close out the pod, how are we going to be doing that? One thing about us is we're really unorganized and
We
really
really are.
chaotic. And we don't really think things through. And we're
Yeah.
also really awkward. So,
Uh-huh. Anyway, but we're going to do it all respectfully. Oh, I thought we were going to do our little line there.
you didn't tell me what line. And we're going to do it all respectfully. Okay.
Okay,
Well, not
here we
behind.
go. We're going to do it all respectfully, of course.
I really wanted to say it. I just couldn't. Okay.
We're going to do it all.
I think
See
that's
you next time.